Welcome to the Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. Every week, we're going to bring you powerful stories and strategies from leaders who are making a real impact by building stronger, more resilient communities. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools to thrive in both your personal and professional life. Welcome to the Rise Together weekly podcast series, part of the Foundation for Family and Community Healing. Today, I'd like to introduce my guest, Roman Trebon, Head of Client Success at Teams Plus. Welcome to the podcast, Roman. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks so much. Excited to be here.
So I am so eager to learn more about your organization. I know a little bit about it already. Can you just spend about a minute and a half or so telling us what your business does and why you got into this?
Yeah, so I work for a company called Teams Plus. We are a communication provider, so we provide voice services for companies to communicate both internally amongst each other as well as with their clients. So we deploy, manage, and support Microsoft Teams voice services. We also do contact center services as well. And what's really, I think, a value for us is that we are a carrier grade phone network. And so it doesn't really matter which platform you want to communicate with your clients or colleagues on. We support it all, but we have this, our network has this depth where your voice quality doesn't drop. There's no issues with sound, et cetera. So we support multiple platforms, but we do a lot with Microsoft Teams and a company called Five9.
Great. So it seems like your services are so ubiquitous, like would be needed by pretty much everyone. Do you have a
Everyone.
particular market that you tend to serve?
Yeah, so you're right. Everyone needs communication. So every company communicates internally and with their customers. So that is the beauty of our business, that we can serve, and we do serve a lot of different markets. We have recently really focused into the collection space, companies that are trying to collect debt. You know, it really is a good fit in terms of an ideal customer profile for us. They make a lot of phone calls. They need the power of a network that we have where they can make a lot of dials, as well as this omni-channel customer approach where they can follow up with text messages, emails, et cetera. And so we support all of that. But we have customers in healthcare, the movie industry, you name it. We serve a ton of different industries, and it's been exciting to learn about all those different types of companies that are out there.
Okay. And your role in the company is?
I am the head of client success. So what that means is basically my team supports everything post-sale. So I have a team that will onboard your solution for you. So I have project managers and engineers that really understand what you're trying to accomplish with your voice communication, either internally or with your clients. We gather those requirements. We make sure that it's really a seamless transition. We talk about change. Change is so important. So we really focus on the internal change, that changing how you communicate, the impact that will have. And so we onboard the solution, and then once you're up and running on your voice channel, then I have a team that if there are issues, if something's not working, I have a customer support team that will jump in and help you. I have a professional services team. So especially with our contact center solutions, those are really advanced solutions. So I have a team of experts that will help you maximize your investment. So think of them as like consultants. So you can go to them as you want to understand different channels, different communication strategies, et cetera. I have a team that you can lean on that can both advise as well as actually do the work themselves. I have an account manager that will help support our high value clients, and then really it's everything after you post sale. So all client support. Our goal is to make sure clients are set up for success, and really want to make sure they get long-term value.
Sounds like a very complicated project, and when done properly, it just, as you said, is probably would seem seamless on the other end, but requires a lot of orchestration and hard work and talent behind the scenes. So I can imagine how a new company would want to just start off right and work with you. For those that are bringing you in after the fact, are you just creating smoother, more efficient operations, or what problem are you solving for them, and how do you do this uniquely compared to others providing similar services?
Yeah, most of our customers have existing phone services already, right? They're not new to phone communication services. Typically, we solve a myriad of different challenges, right? Some of it is they don't get the kind of support that they really need. If they have issues, they're in queue. It takes a long time to get service. They're not really using the full functionality of the suite of products, right? And so they're not getting the value that they need. So we actually, our onboarding process is we call it prescriptive yet personalized. So we are experts in the space. I have a team of really, really deep people that have been in the contact center and telephony business for a long time. So our customers look to us as experts, and that's the type of service that we want to deliver. And so really we talk about, why did you make the change to Teams Plus? Like, why did you make this change? What are you trying to accomplish? What does success look like? I think it's important to talk about that up front. And so, challenges, it could be everything from, again, I've mentioned a few, but it could be, the customers don't like or the agents using the software don't like the user interface. So we try to understand all of those limitations, those challenges up front. And then as we work to deliver their new solution, we keep that front of mind so that we have a running list of milestones that we can check off along the way. And, really our goal at the end is to make sure clients are happy, end users are comfortable using the solutions, and then customers that are calling in, they can seamlessly get to the person that they need to, help them with what, the reason they called. So we actually track something called Net Promoter Score. So we actually, at the end of our onboarding, we ask, based off your experience with Teams Plus onboarding, would you recommend us to another, colleague or friend? And in the way that works is, if you get a 9 or 10 on that survey, those are called promoters, and you subtract those from anyone that gives you a 6 or lower, which is called a detractor. Our net promoter is at 100, right? So I'm very proud of that. My team does an amazing job. Really, our focus is on the client experience. I'd say a real differentiation for us is that, our onboarding, a lot of companies will do time and material, or, they'll charge you throughout. We have a flat fee. We're not looking to make money in onboarding. We really want to set you up for long-term success. Our philosophy is, if our clients are successful, then we'll be successful. And that's really how we approach our clients.
So I love that, because for so many businesses, they feel their work stops at the sale, and it sounds like for yours it begins, or you're always just thinking about them as continuing clients, or the future client that's going to renew, but always thinking about being in service and relationship, and providing the highest quality. That's amazing. I wish all companies would take that approach.
Yeah, no, I mean, for us, and I feel very fortunate. The founders of the company, myself, that's our goal. Is we look at it as a true partnership. Again, if our clients are successful, again, we know that we will see the benefits of that, right? They'll continue to grow, meet their objectives, and that ultimately will help us. So, no, it's great. It's super refreshing. I've been in organizations that's not always been the case, and so to come at a company like Teams Plus, where the focus really is doing what's right for the customer, it's both refreshing and it's motivating as well.
It's empathy, marketing, and service, so empathy based. What is your biggest challenge as head of client success? What is your biggest challenge in making this all work?
Yeah, so we're a relatively small company. We are, under 25 people, right? And so we serve a pretty large base of clients, and which is good issues to have. But we have a lot of clients. We're growing at a really good rate right now. So the biggest challenge is trying to manage everything day to day, right? So for myself, I'm looking at future state strategy. I also want to carve out time to coach and develop my team. I want my team to be successful, right? But then I'm also in the weeds where I'm talking to clients, I'm doing actual work. So you wear many hats in this role, which I like that. But again, sometimes you need to take a step back. Again, it's trying to find that balance across making sure my team is successful, making sure my clients are successful, and we're still planning for the future state of the organization. Balancing that at times can be a challenge, but again, it's a good issues to have.
And would you say that's the biggest challenge for them as well, as the balance? Because it sounds like people are wearing many hats and they have very high standards. Everybody has very high standards for themselves.
Absolutely. My team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think so I should say we're a fully remote company, right? And so we don't, we have no office, right? We have everyone is remote. We're all over the United States and Canada. And I think, yes, I think that's about a challenge for them as well, right? We have a team, which I'm fortunate where they go above and beyond for our clients. But doing that while juggling so much, we do ask a lot of them because we are a small team. We have to do so many different roles and responsibilities, right? We're not a big organization where you just do one area of focus. We ask our team to do many different things. That's a challenge. I also think being in a virtual environment is a challenge in and of itself. It's sometimes hard to turn off. And so, we really talk to our team about work-life balance. We want to go above and beyond for our clients, but we also want to make sure that they are taking care of themselves, their families. And so sometimes in a virtual world, it's hard to close your email. It's hard not to respond. And so we need to, make sure that we're all taking time for ourselves.
Yes. So go above and beyond for yourself first.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But you hit the nail on the head. If you're not doing that, right, if you're not taking care of yourself, it's hard to take care of your clients, right? It has that impact. Just talking to someone the other day about, employee experience. There's a direct correlation between employee experience and customer experience. And if your employees aren't having a good experience, aren't taking care of themselves, like you said, it will definitely have an impact on your customers, right? So again, that's something we have to be, I'm cognizant of and want to make sure my team is taking care of themselves.
I'm sure so many employees out there are wishing their employer would say the same. So a little bit more of a personal focus for a minute, Roman. What would you say is your biggest failure or challenge that you have faced to this point in your life, and how has that shaped the way you are or the way you do business?
That's a good question. I will say a challenge. I don't know if it's a failure, but I've been with big corporate Fortune 500 companies, and I've gone through layoffs twice, right? And so when you go, if you've ever been impacted by layoffs, it's a very helpless feeling, right? It's you find yourself out of work. You don't really have answers. It's not performance based, and so you start to question yourself. Like, did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? Did I not do? So all of that self-doubt is really really difficult to manage. And so I've actually had this happen a couple times early in my career and then later in my career, and they were very different. Later in my career was much tougher. And again, so for me, a challenge is really, a couple things that emerged from that. One is not taking it personally, right? It's not a personal thing, and just because a company downsizes because stock prices aren't hitting what the market expects, that doesn't, that's not an indication of my value, my self-value, or the value I can bring to an organization. But I will say going through that has really helped me. I've been fortunate enough to have a network where I really learned to be vulnerable. That's not something I was very comfortable with growing up. Vulnerability wasn't something that I would say was looked at growing up as maybe something that was a positive trait, but it's been so valuable now the more I do it, right? The more vulnerable I am, the more I ask for help. That's another thing, is now asking for help. It's okay that I don't know all the answers. And I really like to talk to my team about that as well. It's okay if we don't know the answers. It's about asking for help, trying to learn, trying to improve and get better, right? And so while that was a big challenge, and I did have a lot of anxiety and self-doubt when I went through those layoffs. Really, again, I feel fortunate that I've been able to use the tools I've learned from others, right? It's okay to be vulnerable, ask for help. And it's made me a stronger, I think, leader as well, right? I know Brene Brown, the book Dare to Lead. I don't know if anyone's read that. It's an amazing book, but the whole first half of the book is all about being vulnerable, right? And so again, when you read something like that, it for me, it really reinstates how important it is and what a crucial skill it is for people to have.
Those are the perspective of a very insightful leader. Thank you for sharing that, Roman. Another maybe personal or professional question: what's the next area of growth you're focusing on for either you or your business?
Yeah, so I'll keep it business focused, I guess. I'll take the glasses off of this. We are growing so quickly, and it's such an exciting time for the organization that, for us, I'm really looking at, how do we achieve our 5 to 10 year plan? It's interesting. We had a leadership meeting last year about our 5 and 10 year plan. We are in a spot where we may hit that within 2 years, right? And so that's really fast growth, which is exciting. I personally want my team to enjoy the ride. I want them to continue to develop and really look back at the journey we're on right now and enjoy it, right? I talk to my team, and we can't control a lot of the outcomes, right? You can't control the outcomes. So like for our sales team, they do all this work on RFP, sales pitches, demos. But once you're done, you can't control if a customer says yes or no. But really focus on the process, the journey. So that's a big challenge for us. Is how we're going to grow to continue to meet our customer needs, and to make sure that customers, as we get more customers and bigger customers, I don't want our level of service to deteriorate at all. I want our smallest client to feel just as important as our biggest client, right? And so finding that balance, how do we do that in an ever-evolving business landscape? It's a challenge. I'm looking forward to taking it on. We're in the midst of it right now. So that's been at the forefront for me right now.
Beautiful. And if folks out there listening want to contact you, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn at Roman Trebon. So you can find me on there. I also do a podcast called the Customer Success Playbook. So if you are listening to the podcast, which if you're listening to this, you probably are, check us out. We bring on leaders and across various industries about how they best make customers successful. So it's been a great exercise for me. So check me out on LinkedIn. I do post mostly about the show, but I'll post other things as well. And you can find Teams Plus at teamsplus.com. You can find out more about our services and what we have going on our website.
Well, it's so refreshing to hear about an organization so focused on client success. So thanks for joining us, Roman Trebon of Teams Plus.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on our Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. We hope you've been inspired by today's stories and strategies for building stronger, more resilient communities. Remember, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing through every challenge to become bigger and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who could benefit from these insights. Stay connected, stay resilient, and we'll see you next time.